Hi, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Ben.
And together we're 15 degrees north.
Today we're going to show you the sights and sounds of New York. It's pretty safe to say that New York is the most iconic city in the entire world.
Nestled in the northeastern corner of the US, this is the pinnacle of American culture, where big really is better, with staring skyscrapers, bustling streets, and an atmosphere of being at the epicenter of the Western world.
It's only right that we start our trip by seeing its skyline, because if there's one thing New York is known for, it's its glorious ensemble of hundreds of towers densely packed on the island of Manhattan.
New York City.
The Big Apple, the Big Smoke, a forest of skyscrapers.
Alright, enough. Sitting in the middle of the Hudson River, New Jersey sits on its western side, while Brooklyn sits to its east, with both having beautiful views across the water.
And while all of Manhattan is crowded with buildings, you'll notice two distinct areas of skyscrapers. One downtown, where you'll find the financial district, and the other in Midtown, where you'll find most of the city's cultural sites.
It's definitely worth coming out to New Jersey just so that you get this amazing view of the skyline, and you can see it all the way right the way down to the end of Lower Manhattan.
Once you cross the river, you're plunged straight into the craziness, and nowhere is it more crazy than in Times Square.
A bow-tie-shaped plaza sat at the intersection of several of New York's busiest streets, it is known for its numerous advertisement screens, which have been erected on every available surface and surround you with a barrage of light, movement,
and capitalism.
Absolutely. This is the city where money never sleeps, remember?
The square took its name from the New York Times, whose headquarters used to be in one of its buildings.
One of the busiest pedestrian areas in the world, 50 million people cross its sidewalks annually, with around 400,000 people crossing through it every single day.
And while it looks amazing in the daytime, it looks even better after dark.
Its digital billboards are lit 24/7, and having an advert on these screens is considered the absolute holy grail of marketing.
Home to the city's famous New Year's Eve celebration, it also has been the location of numerous large-scale events, not least the announcement of the end of World War II.
The square, and much of the city, was in real decline in the 60s and 70s, but following the boom of Wall Street and the city's economy in the 1980s, Times Square was given a new lease of life, becoming the glitzy beacon of commerce that it is renowned for today.
New York has been the place where venture capitalists have flocked to come and make their millions.
It's no coincidence that Donald Trump made his name and fortune here in New York.
But perhaps nobody has had bigger impact on the city than John D. Rockefeller.
Following the Wall Street crash of 1929, the financier heir to an oil fortune pumped a huge amount of money into building the Rockefeller Center, a complex of buildings that would become the largest private building project in modern times.
The building housed media companies for radio and TV, as well as vast office space and retail units, and everything is still completely functional today.
Nearby is Trump Tower, and while we'd love to say it has the same scale and grandeur as the Rockefeller Center, well, it just doesn't.
But as a time capsule from the 80s and a cathedral to worship at the altar of Donald Trump, it's still pretty interesting to see.
The Chrysler building was the tallest building in the entire world in 1930.
For all of 11 months, until the Empire State Building snatched the record away.
Gutted.
Central Park is another location you'll have seen many times on screen.
What's your favourite TV series set in New York?
Oh, it's got to be Friends. Sex and the City. Will and Grace.
Yep.
Gossip Girls.
Yep, absolutely. Movie-wise, I mean,
Home Alone.
Yeah, Home Alone 2. I think we just saw the hotel where that's set. I mean, Ghostbusters is iconic, of course.
Of course.
And Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Throughout this trip, I found it really weird to be in places that I felt like I already knew, but had never actually seen before. Like, I've seen that lake in Central Park hundreds of times before, but now I've actually seen it in real life, which is kind of weird.
From now on, we'll watch movies set in New York and be able to say, oh yeah, that's close to Times Square, and know exactly what we're talking about.
Just like the 65 million other annual visitors to the city.
And there was me feeling a bit special. There are so many museums and galleries in New York that to visit all of them is completely impossible.
So you have to be selective. We went for MoMA, but there's also the Met, the Guggenheim, the Whitney, the Natural History Museum, the Museum of Sex.
Lovely.
One of the things that everyone wants to do is a river cruise on the East River.
And people pay through the nose to do it.
However, here's a little tip for you. If all you want is the views and you're not that bothered about all the bougie settings, then why not get the ferry from uptown at East 90th Street, sailing all along Manhattan, ending up at Wall Street.
It gives you a full tour of the entire East Side with sweeping views across its skyline, and it costs a grand total of $4.50.
It might not be luxurious, but nothing tastes sweeter than saving money.
Money never sleeps after all.
The most iconic building in the city is, of course, the Empire State Building.
You can go up it, of course, but why would you want a view of the city that does not include its most amazing feature?
So what you really want is the best view of it from nearby, which is what we'll be showing you later on.
This Art Deco building that was finished in 1931 held the title of the world's tallest building from its completion right until the construction of the World Trade Center in 1970.
It then reclaimed the title of New York's tallest building after the 9/11 attacks in 2001, lasting until it was surpassed in 2012.
There is no doubt that the Empire State Building is ingrained on the public's consciousness, not least from seeing King Kong hanging off the building in one of the cinema's most iconic scenes.
But for me, it's all about that scene at the end of Sleepless in Seattle when Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan finally meet there in the rom-com's climactic scene.
Manhattan's East Side is home to the city's most exclusive neighborhoods, so it's no surprise that both Friends and Sex and the City's aspirational locations are both housed there.
Chelsea and Greenwich Village are very pretty locations, helped greatly by their abundance of modern parks, which have been constructed in the most random of places.
Firstly, there's the High Line, which is an old railway viaduct that was converted into one long landscaped walkway that makes its way through these districts.
A mile and a half long, it was inspired by the Coulée Verte in Paris.
Oh look, evidence of the supposed special relationship with the US is actually with France and not the UK.
Oh, pipe down.
Then there's Washington Square Park, which houses a marble arch to commemorate the centennial of George Washington's inauguration as the first US president following the country's independence from the
British.
with help from the
French.
See? Funny that.
Then there's Little Island, a public park constructed atop concrete pylons sitting above the Hudson River. Is there anything French that you'd like to say about this one?
Only that is just very pretty like most French things.
Of course, as gay men visiting New York, we had to take a pilgrimage to the Stonewall Inn, where the riots of 1969 led directly to the decriminalisation of homosexuality here. Like everyone of our age and above, the image of New York's skyline is also synonymous with the biggest world event to have happened in our lifetimes.
The site of the 9/11 terror attacks has long since been redeveloped, but its history is now enshrined in the structures that have replaced it since the World Trade Center was destroyed in 2001.
The Oculus rail terminus was designed by Calatrava and is positioned so that on September the 11th each year, it is best positioned to capture the autumn equinox sun for when it is opened for 102 minutes, the time it took for both towers to collapse.
Outside, the new One World Trade Center tower soars above the city as the tallest building in North America, bearing the same name as the original North Tower.
Beneath it are the 9/11 memorial pools, which are 2 one-acre waterfalls that sit on the spots where the towers once stood.
The names of all the victims of the attack are carved into the barrier around the pools.
The memorial opened on September the 12th, 2011, the day after the attack's 10th anniversary.
Nearby is the 9/11 Museum.
Inside, deep within the foundations of the site, a vast array of articles recovered from the attack have been gathered and displayed to honour the victims.
Huge sections of the building have been preserved from the rubble, while smaller artifacts have been arranged in an enclosed gallery inside.
From each side of the island you get a different perspective on Manhattan. Over in New Jersey you get this amazing vista along the west side of the island, and then of course from over here in Brooklyn you get to see the east side, and both are spectacular and both definitely worth going to visit. And on this side you get the Brooklyn Bridge.
Obviously, you can't help but live your best Alicia Keys life by crossing the bridge on foot.
I feel just like Alicia Keys
And you're just like that. And I'm just like Jay-Z.
in many, many ways.
Opened in 1883, it was the first bridge to cross the East River and was, at the time it was built, the longest suspension bridge in the world.
The bridge takes you to downtown Manhattan, right at the heart of its financial centre.
And there is no financial center more influential or iconic than Wall Street.
In the earliest days of the settlement here, a city wall ran along the same route as this street, hence the name Wall Street.
Any trace of that is now long gone, but instead the stock exchange, banking headquarters and any number of financial institutions are all crowded into the tip of the island.
Time for another New York hack.
If you would like to see the Statue of Liberty but don't want to pay exorbitant prices to actually visit the island, the best way to do it is on the Staten Island Ferry.
The ferry is free. Yes, that's right. Free.
And free is my favorite price.
Especially when you get to see one of the world's most iconic landmarks as a result.
A landmark gifted to New York by, guess who? The French, no less.
Oh, here we go again.
Well, did you know that the Statue of Liberty was constructed by Gustave Eiffel?
Well, actually, yes. Yes, I did.
I just thought you might like reminding. Erected in 1886, the copper statue was given to the city of New York to commemorate 100 years of democracy in the US. Remember, it was the US Revolution that inspired the French one.
Except the Americans didn't get their guillotines out.
Well, sadly not.
Our final stop in New York was our best.
With so many towers offering views over the city skyline, you have to visit at least one of them.
We decided to head to the top of the Rockefeller Center and visit Top of the Rock.
Sitting on the 70th floor, it was opened in 1933 and has remarkable views across the city.
It did have an unobstructed view of Central Park until recent years, but that's not the reason you're here.
Instead, you're here for that iconic view with the Empire State Building directly in front of you, glinting in the glorious sunshine.
And what a view it is.
I don't think we've ever had higher expectations for a city than when we arrived in New York, but it certainly did not disappoint.
We spent 5 days here and we never ran out of things to do.
We just skimmed the surface, really.
It might be at the top of everyone's bucket list to visit, but it's there for good reason.
New York is remarkable.